Hey y'all, it's Adia. Welcome back to another video. So today we are going to challenge ourselves to draw or paint both. Anyway, we're going to challenge ourselves to create 100 food items in 24 hours. And here are the supplies that I'm using. So basically I'll be using this watercolor paper. It's 7 by 10 inches. Here's a close-up. I'll be using this. We're gonna sketch with this mechanical pencil because, yeah. It took me literally forever to find these, but I found them. I don't know why it took me so long to find them, like I wasn't using them the other day. Yeah, so we'll be using these pens to, trace my sketch. And this is the watercolor set that I will be using. Although I don't know if I'll actually be able to finish doing watercolor in 24 hours, but I think I should be able to sketch 100 food items in 24 hours. So here is the watercolor set that anyway, so here's the watercolor set that I will be using. It's just like a miniature Winslow Newton set that I have that I bought a while ago. And so y'all are aware, hold on, let me see. So right now it is Saturday, January 11th, and it is 11:49. So I have until January 12th, 11:49 to finish this. Let's get right into the video.
Okay, so I'm showing the next day because I did most of the sketches while I was at work. So right now I'm just gonna show you guys the sketches that I already have done, and then I'm also gonna trace the pencil line drawings that I already have. And to do all the tracings, it took probably around 7 hours. The only reason why it took me so long is because I was unsure of what foods that I wanted to draw. I don't know why. Like, as soon as I gave myself this challenge, I all of a sudden couldn't think of any type of food. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, what do you mean I don't know any food? So I searched up a lot of them, and even some of the suggestions, why was suggesting so many different types of soup. Like, I don't want to draw soup. I think for the most part, all the drawings came out pretty good. There's some was oh, it's a little janky. But we're gonna close our eyes and pretend like we don't see those ones, right? Right, guys? Clock it, thank you. So basically, I did technically finish 100 drawings in 24 hours. It really took me 7. The only thing is the watercolor portion took past the 24 hours. One, I don't know why I decided to start a challenge when I knew the next day, or not, I don't know. The next 2 days I had school and I had to prepare for that and buy supplies and stuff like that. And then I wondered why I didn't finish it in 24 hours and I knew I had work. I also assumed that this semester was going to be easy for me, but I assumed wrong. Literally all of my online classes assign homework every single day. I don't know why I did this to myself. I was oh, I basically have only art classes. Wrong. My digital literacy class gives me assignments every day, and it takes 1 to 2 hours to complete, and it's Then I have a class with one of my friends, and she was literally stressing me out about the class. It was outrageous because, girl, why are you stressing me out about a class that we haven't even taken yet? And then I saw the assignments and all the reading that I haven't done yet. Tell me why. It's the first day of classes and school is starting, and I already have 10 assignments in Canvas. I deleted that app for a reason, and then I reopened it and I have all these assignments. I also added a cycling class, which was 10 out of 10. It was very hard, very difficult. I would recommend. But as far as this watercolor painting, the eggplant, the carrot is kind of giving, it's giving. And then we're on to the fries. Honestly, the burger on this page is probably my favorite. I just love how the watercolor looks, the texture that I gave it. Scrumptious. I can't take myself serious. Oh my gosh. I find it very interesting on why I decided to pick watercolor instead of acrylic. Acrylic is my go-to, but I really want to practice using watercolor. Honestly, watercolor is not my favorite choice of medium, but I'm trying to get used to, I guess, the consistency, wow, words, of the watercolor and really being able to use different types of medium in art, especially if I want to like teach art, I guess. But yeah, this is really another way how I'm utilizing creating 100 food items is really with watercolor. But also it helps me stop thinking so much about all the small details and really just putting a line on the paper. That's kind of what stops me back from doing a lot of things. If I can't put a line on the paper, then how are we going to create art? I do these 100 challenges for a reason. How else am I supposed to build up my skills? By creating all these food items under pressure, it forces me to come up with the shapes, composition, readability rather than perfection, and it can lead to rapid improvement into your skills, my skills, everybody's skills. I would also say that it helps with idea generation, but I wouldn't say that's the case for me. Obviously, through this whole challenge, I struggle with drawing from memory. Like, why can't I remember how a strawberry looks like? It's ridiculous. Like, I'm embarrassed. I think also this challenge helps with like mental resilience to like keep going even when things are not looking right. There's definitely some food items that look kind of crazy and we're just going to close our eyes and pretend like we didn't see it, right? I think this is also a good opportunity to experiment without overthinking. And I guess for these, I was more likely to take risk than like if I'm working on something quote unquote important. So that's another thing that I think is extremely helpful when you are doing this 100 challenge, 100 challenge for yourself, you know, just, yeah. I will say, like, doing this too often, I do think it will lead to burnout. So, like, sometimes I just have to chill out a little bit because I'm always trying to push my art, push my skills, and I don't know, I just want to be super great, like, right now. But I know it takes time, so that's what I'm working towards. I feel like that's everyone, though. I feel like everyone wants to be a grand art master right now, and I always just have to remind myself that like, no, that takes time and I need to be more patient because Miss Impatient is me. Like, I'm one of those people, if I have a really good idea, I'm gonna have to act on it right then and now because I feel like if I'm just sitting on an idea, it's never gonna get done. That's something I really need to work on, is like being patient, taking a step back and really observing things. And like, I do that, but like sometimes I just don't do that and I just need to get it done right now. Also, while I was painting and using like watercolors or whatever, I was like watching YouTube and like watching things. And so I was watching regular shows. I was like rewatching it. And let me tell you, Mordecai is an ass because I don't know why he acts like that. And honestly, if I like had Mordecai and Rickme as my coworkers, I'd be pissed every day to have some people slacking off and never doing their jobs, and I'm picking up the extra work that they're not doing. And then the episode that I was watching, right, it was basically I think it was called like Bad Kids or something like that. And basically Mordecai and what's her name, Margaret, they have their first kiss, and it's so bad because his breath was smelling like bounced ass. And how's he gonna be mad because looking back at the past, he didn't brush his teeth, he ate that chili dog. It was just so many things that went wrong. Let me tell you, on this page, I am so proud of that mango. That mango looks so delicious. I don't know how I got those colors so seamlessly like blended. Well, I know how. Also, the candy apple looks pretty good too. It looks like crunchy, shiny, all the goodness in like a candy apple. How I achieved that color for the mango, so basically I started off with a yellow base. I don't know why I didn't film it. It's probably on my phone somewhere, but I basically started off with the lightest coat of yellow, and then I started blending in the orange while it was still wet, and then I added some green at the bottom, and then I added in a darker yellow in the center, which is how it kind of has that seamless, smooth look that a mango has. And for the candy apple, I basically, at least for like where the nuts are, I kept the paintbrush pretty dry so I can have that type of texture that I wanted, because if there's like water, a lot of water, I would kind of lose the texture that the candy apple has. And then for the like caramel part, I used a lot of water and then just kind of built on top of that, and then like the little green part for like the green apple because green apples are superior to red apples. I don't care what anyone says. And honestly, I think this might be my favorite page. Like, they all kind of like hit on the spot, to be honest. Like, I like pretty much everything besides that cucumber. The cucumber, I don't know what happened, but I mean, it's okay. But the rest of everything, like the turnip, I think it's a squash, mussel, corn dog. But yeah, anyway, we're on to the next page. And honestly, you can kind of tell that I started running out of ideas because on the last page I had jam and now I'm working on peanut butter. And I don't know if y'all saw on a previous page, I had like shrimp kebabs, and now I just have a singular shrimp. Yes, it's different. I don't care what any of y'all say. It is different. It's like a different form of like food for, well, not, it's still shrimp. It's just like, but for this page, a lot of the stuff are more like meals. So 82 is like ribs and 81 is ramen, and then 80, I think that's the only soup I have because it was recommending me so many soups and I just didn't really want to like draw soup. And then 77 is a hash brown, 76 is avocado toast, and then 78 is a jalapeno pepper popper, like the stuffed jalapeno peppers, yeah. And then 79 is meatballs. But yeah, these are like kind of more like, I guess, meals instead of just like an apple or an orange or something. And I also realized when I was doing like vegetables, I didn't realize that there's, in a sense, kind of no such thing as a vegetable. They're like labeled as something else. Either they're like a fruit or a root or stems. Like, I thought that was so odd that it wasn't like considered a vegetable. It's just like, I guess, a category where they put all the things that aren't fruits, I guess, or they aren't like herbs. So I thought that was interesting. So for example, when I made like the turnip or when I made the radish, it was considered like a root, which is like, it kind of makes sense why it's considered a root, but also I just think it was so interesting to me. Like, looking at the definition, it says a vegetable is a plant or part of a plant used as food, such as cabbage, potato, carrot, or a bean. But then you search up what a carrot is and it says a root. Well, actually, let me search it up. But I know when I was looking at the fruits and vegetables, it was like categorizing them. And especially carrot. Carrot was like considered like a root. And then I forgot what cabbage like stood for. Let me actually see what it stood for. I just think for the most part, if it wasn't considered like a fruit, it was a vegetable or like herbs or something like that. As long as it wasn't like fruit, herbs, or flour, it was basically under vegetable. What I find so interesting about 99, I was kind of unsure on if I wanted it to be a cantaloupe or a honeydew melon. And when I originally sketched it out, I don't know what I had in mind on whether it was supposed to be a honeydew melon or a cantaloupe, so I just made a cantaloupe, and honestly, it looks so good. I'm happy that I decided to make it into a cantaloupe. And you kind of tell, like, the last page, I was kind of like running out of ideas, so I started putting like candies on there, like candy corn. I don't like candy corn, and a mint. Like, I think I had a mint, and then chicken nuggets. I'm not a huge chicken nugget person, or a peach person either, but. And then lastly, for 100, basically it's supposed to be a grapefruit. 100, we're just not gonna like look at it too much. Like, I don't know what happened. Like, the outline was good, and then when I put paint on it, it just, I don't know what is going on. I think, to be honest, if I had like a white gel pen, which I think all the like food could like use a little highlight with like a white gel pen, I think it would really boost this like drawing, especially with 100. I think that's because I was lacking like the highlights in the I guess where the flesh of the fruit is. I think that's probably why it was lacking a little bit. But overall, I do like everything, how everything came out for the most part. And you see, I'm over here like trying to like recover a little bit from, I don't know what is going on with that fruit. Like I said, I think it needs a little highlight.
so I finally finished my 100 food items and 24 hours. Although painting it did not take 24 hours, but since I made the challenge, it's my rules. So I'll go ahead and show you guys all of the food items that I made and do like a close-up so you guys can really see everything. And yeah, so it really took like 7 hours to draw everything in a single day. And then what made the painting part hard is because I don't know why I decided to start it when school was starting, and the semester has been crazy already, and we're only 1 week into the semester, so at least I finished it, right? I did make them pretty small, so they're on like 7 pages, and also they started falling out of the notebook for whatever reason, so that's why they're not in the notebook. But I'll go ahead and show y'all a closer view of this. Y'all have made it this far into the video, please leave a like and subscribe and let me know what y'all would like to see next.